In this video, James Lucas from Succulents Australia is going to tell us all about repotting lithops, and in particular repotting the seedling lithops. And in previous videos we've looked at pollinating lithops and growing lithops from seeds. So this is the next step in the process. We'll look at choosing some of the best lithops for your own collection, and at the end of the video we'll take another look at the collection of the late Mr Shimada. And Mr Shimada is widely regarded as being one of the best lithops hybridisers in the world. These are our lithops seedlings, and they're how many months on?
Well, this is around about 18 months, these. There's a little bit variable because I've got this from quite a few different sources. I've got some from a grower in China, some are European. There's a bit here from Mr Garden. That's a Mr Garden number there. And there's some Chinese ones, and I also got some from Europe. And you can see a couple of things I'd like to point out is that you can see some of them have a second germination if you leave them for over a year. Here's a couple of new ones. Obviously it did not come up last year, but it's coming up now.
So others have been taken out of here?
No, they have not. No, these are undisturbed, these ones. But why we're doing this now is in the last month, these lithops have nearly doubled in size. They're really getting overcrowded. So what happens is at the end of February, they just start to go bloom, ready for growing more right through to winter and then flowering.
So end of summer, that's when they really start to push on.
We are now in early March, and I've just noticed that the lithops, if they haven't doubled, they've nearly doubled in size. And you can sort of see from here, you know, they're really getting a little bit overcrowded.
Well, certainly when you look at something like this, it's getting a bit overcrowded.
Yeah, that's Betty's beryl. I'll tell you what, John, let's tube this one up. We'll pot him up and I'll show you what I want to do with him.
That's a nice looking plant. What did you say?
Yeah, this is cultivar. This is Orcampiae, but Betty's beryl. So it's a green version of one of the Orcampiaes.
Really quite nice colours in that one.
Oh,
well,
beautiful. We'll pot them up for you.
There you go.
Okay, here we go for Betty's beryl. Now look, I like to loosen them up a little bit. I'll go on the side here, give it a little bit of a lift. But the first thing I'm going to do is, for my own collection, which I actually want to breed from these ones, I'm going to select some extremely good colours. Now, because I've loosened them, we've nearly got all the roots here. Come over here, I've already moistened this soil, and I'm going to want about 6 of the best. Notice I just tuck down those the roots down there. You plant it just so it's sitting out of the soil. That's all you need to do.
So you're trying to choose what you think are the best colours.
Really good colour and good shape, good form. That's a beautiful goldeny colour. This one has to be goldeny green. They're all pretty good actually. It's pretty stable, this one. Hello? Oh yeah. They're just 2 plants, not a divided one. So actually you should get this where you pull them apart carefully. I want that one there. But you pull them apart carefully because you want to retain these roots. And you know, within another 2 weeks, these will have brand new roots going down into the soil.
Now, is it a bit easier to divide them in the dry soil?
It's better to pull them out of the dry soil like this, but I prefer to plant them into moistened soil because I can get the roots down deep if I do this. You just feel it tugs down. I just use the knife in there to touch them up. Always try for the middle of the pot. And I'm going to let these plants sit in these pots here and dry out for about a week or so. Then I'm actually going to give them some liquid fertiliser. I'm going to do it that way. Okay, now these ones here, we will sell these as bare roots. So we're going to put 5 per pot.
So I'm noticing that what you regard as being the better colours, there's fewer of them than the others. That's just the way it goes.
Yes, they're what I call superior. and I would really prefer to breed from those in the future.
So
And
so you're sort of getting into selective breeding as you go along.
As I go along, yeah, because my object here is to really produce high quality seed in the future for these plants. So I really want to select really superior colours and form.
And that also means patterns on the top.
Yes, it's definition of pattern. You know, you want them really fine, clear lines, that type of thing. So clear colours, not muddy colours, and they're actually more beautiful. You know, when you set out 20 of these, a couple will shine as being really good. So you can see it's really quite easy. You can get a lot of these done in a day. You just make sure they're tucked down. So you tuck the roots in, smooth it out a little bit.
And I guess from the selected forms, then you also select from them.
That's right. And these selections will go on for a few years. And this is actually how you form new cultivars, because if you find one or two that are distinctively different, they might have an extremely dark top or something like that, you keep those aside. Once you breed those for 3 or 4 generations, they become consistent and they will stay with you.
So that would be what Mr Shimada in Japan has been doing for
40 odd years.
Yeah, and his son's now taken that over.
Yeah, and he has very special forms, and it's just years and years and years of breeding. So it's sort of a job that I actually want to do in the future.
So you've got lithops, and then you've got lithops.
Lithops, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, last one. So this is just Betty's Beryl. It's been around for quite a few years. Not many of it in Australia, but there you go. These have been these are being made up for sale because we'll bare root out of here, but this will be my collection down there. And you'll see the really good lines, nice dark head on him.
So we might come back and have a look at these in a few months' time.
Yeah, I think so, because they'll actually grow a fair bit more, and I'd say in another year, between 2.5, 3 years, they do begin to flower.
And when you say you're going to fertilise them, what sort of fertiliser are you going to use? A liquid one?
Look, I'll use a liquid nitrogen fertiliser, not too strong, it'll be really mild, and I'm actually going to give these a little bit of vitamin B to help get the roots initiated into the soil.
And what forms does the vitamin B come in?
It just comes liquid form, so I mix it with a fertiliser.
Okay.
And it's just like a tonic for the plant to help get a relationship going with the soil.
And of course, if you haven't got all that sort of stuff at home, you can use other types of fertiliser.
You can just use like a bit of, fish emulsion, I don't know, seaweed type stuff. That'll do. It's a little pick me up and to get the roots going and established, and then they'll start growing.
So that process is going to go on with all of these?
For all of these, yeah, because this is a bit of a collection, this one, because they're good varieties, and some of them quite unusual, and or from an outstanding supplier. And so this is the beginnings of my own collection for propagating seed in the future.
So this one is
Noranae.
Lithops Noranae.
Yep.
Which are the ones that you would select out of that?
Okay, what I'd be doing here, I actually really like the clear pattern on top. It's clear, defined markings with a good dark base. This one also beautifully marked and very evenly marked. So I'd take him, and I actually like this one here. Not too many marks, but very clear markings. A little bit of green coming through in all of those.
Right.
They're superior.
And if we moved on to, say...
Well, here's a good example here.
Something like this.
This is Otsuriana aquamarine. Now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are what we call aquamarine, which is supposed to be really bright green. These are definitely not. These are throwbacks. Right? And also the windows here are a little bit muddied. They're not quite clear enough. So I really like that one here. So this is a selection. It's what you call a variety. It's a cultivar, and aquamarine is it. So you can see it does have throwbacks. I can't sell that as an aquamarine. Again, here you can see, like John, what would you choose out of there?
Well,
Come on, what stands
I'm
out?
sort of looking at that one.
Correct. That one here.
Yeah.
And I'd say that one down here.
Yep.
Right. They're what I call outstanding. They are superior to the other colours.
Whereas, say, this one here hasn't got much going for it.
No. You know, it's a albini.
Look at these ones, you can see that some of them have got different sort of contrasts and colours.
Yeah. Like this is a bit grey looking, indistinct markings and things like that. But if you look at this one here, it's brilliant red lines, very clear and fine. That's also really nice too. That's also probably a bit brighter colour because he's only just shed his skin. But all the same, that's a really good one here. Good shape, good vigorous plant, but nice clear lines on him.
So don't expect them all to come out the same when you're growing these from seed.
No, it's a bit like your children. Everyone's different. Actually, before you go, John, what we'll do, this is our seedling mix. This is what the seedlings were growing in. You see it's really loose and open. A little bit of fine stuff there, bit of perlite, 3mm gravel, and there's also some finer washed river sand in there as well. And then this is blended with our general potting mix. So it's around about a 50% of potting mix, then perlite and 2 sands added, approximately. Okay. And so the open gravels probably represent around about 50% of this mix.
So with the perlite and the 2 sands, does that be equal sort of?
Yeah, around about 20% of each.
Yep. Okay.
And then you got a bit of the normal, you got perlite, 2 sands, and then you got this. So our potting soil represents about 50%, and the gravels and perlite mix up the other. Now this is wet. Now into this one though, what we have done, I've added a bit of pumice in this one because I just think pumice is really good stuff if you can get it. It's quite hard. You can see perlite in here. It has very fine grade up to 1 to 3mm pumice, a bit of our potting mix, and also sand. You can see our sand in there as well. So it's a very similar mix to this one, and maybe a little bit more open even.
So if you can't get the pumice, what could you put in instead?
Just sand. Just sand, open sand, or scoria. If you can get scoria. Scoria is a really aerated small rock. If you can get a really fine grade of it, that's quite good. We actually sell it on our shop.
Okay.
Fine grade.
So that'd be like a coarse washed river sand.
Yep, but holds more air and is quite light.
Okay.
Because this is actually quite a heavy mix. So having pumice in it and or scoria opens it up, allows more air in the mix and drains really well, and it's also a bit lighter to carry.
With these over here that we're potting up into singles.
Yeah.
Now, can we pull out 5 of those and follow them through for a year, through the 4 seasons, according to Shimada?
Yeah, we can do that, yeah, because these are really select. Like, you can see what I've already picked here. These are really good varieties. Like, I've never had embers here before. If you look at the colour there, you know, that's just really bright. You know, they pop. And it is brighter than one of the other ones. I selected this one because he has a lovely dark head mixed with the red. And these are ones that I actually have selected to, you know, stand out for us in the future. You know, even this one here, Anna Rosa, beautiful markings on it, really clear green. They're the ones I would like to breed from in the future. Here again, look at the really beautiful fine lines, really, really nicely set up.
All right, so we might pull out 4 or 5 of these later on, and in a separate video we'll see if we can follow them through for a whole 12 months.
Yep, well, I might get you to even pick out those next time you're here, John. All right?
Will do.
Good on you.
So it's a bit of a follow-up on the earlier Shimada video, and you can see what difference 2 or 3 months make in size for these plants. They've been watered?
Yes, I have. So you can tell that by you squeeze them a lot lightly, very firm. So they're really taking up the water now.
And fertilised?
Yes, we did. We have done a little bit of fertilising, but I would actually like to fertilise these again because I really want to optimise their growing. But I really want them to dry out before I actually do that again.
Okay, so how often do you think you would water them? Once a month?
Well, no. It might only be once every 2 months. But this season, I will start to water them a little bit more. But really, lithops, you can get away with 3 or 4 waterings a year.
Okay, and you water these from above?
Yes, all
Yeah.
above. but they'll be done on a day where it's sort of warmish, and the water will dry off during the day.
Yeah, and you've got a fairly free draining potting mix, of course.
Very free. Yeah, this is the mix I like with pumice. This is the best mix I can make for it that I know.
And this one's flowering?
Yeah, early.
That's the first
Early
one, and there's
yeah.
one over there that looks like the flower's finished.
And got a flower bud coming up there, so
Yep.
they're beginning to. They're the early one. They're the early flowers.
How old would these actually be?
Okay, if you're seeing flowers on them, they're really 3 years.
Okay.
Shimada generally doesn't sell his stuff, under 2. So it's between 2 and 3 years when you get your seedling. And these are just coming into the stage where they're, fewer dividing. That generally is an indication they're coming on to 3 years.
So you won't get a division until it's about 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years, 3 or 4 years. And some flowerings, I've heard, can take up to 4, 5, 6 years.
That's a beautiful little one there.
Yeah, really nice.
Really lovely
It's
colour
really
in there.
unusual.
And again, we've got, got patterns coming on the top, and that's Optica rubra, is it?
Optica rubra on the right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is purpa. This is one of the cultivars. That'll probably is a bit of Optica rubra, and mixed with another one. Might be like Caris montana.
Yeah. And I can't help but thinking that these green ones are really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, look at that one there with the just pure green head.
Yeah. And then we've got different patterns over there.
Shimada's plants are noted for their markings. And that's what 40 years of breeding does.
We hope you enjoyed this video on lithops. We'd like to thank James Lucas, subscribe to the YouTube channel on a whole range of succulents and indeed a whole range of gardening matters. And as always, good luck with your gardening.